Mhm. Hi, just excited to be here. I'm just trying to add a thumbnail to this video so that it is easy for people to access. Just waiting for you guys to join. But let me just share the link on like other social media platforms so you guys can join and yeah, be part of us. So, YouTube Studio. Just waiting for people to join um and to see how it's going. Let me just change this thumbnail. Yeah, perfect. hmm Okay, so we're good to go. Yeah, you're right. Just in time. Excited to have you. You actually are like our first attendee of this event. So I'm excited. How are you feeling today? How are you doing? I hope you can hear me, Sha, and see me very well. Can you guys hear and see me? Okay, perfect. So we will just go right into it, to be honest. Okay, perfect. So this is actually like a pilot. We're going to be doing an experiment essentially. We're going to be learning together because yeah, this is something that has been on my mind for quite a while and I've been wanting to do this, so I'm excited that we're doing this. So just a brief backstory on what this is. It's called AFM reviews, and I realized that a lot of people that would like their essays to be reviewed but maybe are not able to send it to me directly or to leverage our services. And for me, AFM series is essentially a way to give back to help as many people as possible. And I'm like, okay, while reviewing someone's essay, I can also review and let other people learn from that experience. And so that's what this is really about. So we're going to be reviewing some essays and personal statements. About two people sent theirs in. So we're going to start with that. So I think we'll start with the personal statements and yeah, let's just see how that is. So let me share my screen. So can you guys see my screen? Let me just check what is here. Okay, we can actually see my screen. Perfect. So this personal statement, I'm curious. Can we all just like glance through it and say what we think about it? Do we think that it's perfect? Obviously nothing is perfect, but what do we think based on like all of the information that we've shared on this channel or based on like all the videos I've made? What do we think about this personal statement? Is this a competitive personal statement? Yes or no? Maybe I should do a poll, Seth. That might be fun. Yeah. Mm, you can actually just answer the poll. I just created a poll so we can all answer it. Can you guys see the poll though? Also, hi Timeless. I'm not sure what you chatted me about because I don't really use Telegram like that. I'm mostly active on YouTube, on Instagram, on which other platform? TikTok, and then which other platform again? Or you can send me an email, but I'm not very active on Telegram, so sorry about that. Okay, so it seems like everyone says no. Wow, okay. I can see that we're all in sync. So let's just go into the review. So this personal statement was actually sent for apparently a master's in business with international management at Northumbria University. So I'm just going to be reviewing it one after the other based on like each paragraph. So the first paragraph, the person says, revolutionizing the business space as well as the hospitality industry in my home country, Nigeria, is at the core of my life's purpose. This is what informs my decision to study an MSc in business with international management at your esteemed institution. So, at first glance, I think that this first line is very, it's not bad. It's very direct. It's straight to the point, but it's very generic. So it's too general. It's not personalized. Like revolutionizing the business space. The business space is very broad. There are so many aspects of business. There's like production, there's marketing, there is there's distribution. Like business is like broad. Do you get? So revolutionizing the business space is really, really is a major goal. And for someone that wants to study an MSc, it might not be convincing. And then person says, as well as the hospitality industry. These are like two broad things. Revolutionizing is such a general word that it's not clear what the person is trying to do. A better example would have been like, okay, maybe um specifying it to a specific industry, which is what the person tried to do with the hospitality industry, but maybe saying that the hospitality industry has this, and this problems, and this is the solution I want to bring about. Or a better way to actually start your personal statement is to start from you. So one way that I always tell people to do to go about is you start from your inspiration for the course you want to study. So that can be maybe your personal experience, your masters, not your masters, your undergraduate experience, or maybe your post undergraduate experiences. So a different way would have been the second paragraph. The person says, I discovered my passion for hospitality management during an early holiday trip with my spouse. It was an enlightening experience for me as our trips around the United Kingdom and the resultant stays in hotels and eating out at restaurants exposed the flaws of the hospitality industry back home. So that paragraph would have been a better start because that is more human. That makes us even interested because you're talking about your trip with your spouse. So that's like a good way to start. However, it's still the same problem as the first paragraph because the person says eating out at restaurants expose the flaws of the hospitality industry back home. What are the flaws that they exposed exactly? Because anybody can just say that the hospitality industry has flaws. The only way they can believe that you really mean what you are saying and you're truly passionate about what you're talking about is if you're very detailed. And so the person should have been specific. What flaws? Are there flaws with customer service? Are there flaws with booking? Are there flaws with technology? Are there flaws with maybe high demand but not enough supply? Like it needs to be more specific. I was greatly impressed by the stellar services and was moved to replicate this in my own business back home. That's also very generic because we've not even talked about your business before now. We don't even know what your business is. Have you started a business before? Have you created a business before now? So it's still a little generic. And then the third paragraph, my previous MSc in hospitality management exposed me to all the ropes of the industry. Now that I'm pregnant with knowledge, I desire to enhance the possibilities of my impact by taking a course at a prestigious university that will help me in developing stronger business and managerial skills that will ensure that I'm successful in running my business back home. So the person has talked about their business twice, and we don't know what type of business it is. We don't know when you started the business, how long you've been doing the business. You just keep saying my business. Do you get? That's also not personalized, and that will not be helpful to make you impressionable. We'll still talk about how the person can better tell the story, but let's just review what the person has done. Now, the next thing is when the person says at a prestigious university, that's very generic. You should say, I desire to study at the name of the university you want to study at. You need to make them feel special. By saying you want to study a course at a prestigious university, you're essentially saying that it's any prestigious university, and this school just happened to be one of the universities that up on your radar. You don't want to use like general terms like that. Now, the person says, I believe that an MSc in business with international management at Northumbria University is a perfect fit for me. I was looking for an institution that offers a practical, flexible, and supportive teaching module, one that will allow me to learn key business and management skills, practice, and get dedicated. That just sounds very generic. You will say, I chose that MSc in business with international management at Northumbria University because, and then you give specific things about the school. So maybe because of module A, module B, module C, these modules are going to teach me this, this, and that. Because the school has this innovation center for business owners, because the school has this accelerator program for business owners, because this school is ranked high in hospitality and business, like you will not you're supposed to go straight into why that school is the best school for you, as opposed to just saying this is what you were looking for and then, oh, this school happened to have it. It means that every other school can have that and they are not special. For personal statements, you want to be very personal, you want to be very detailed, and you also want to hype up the school as the best school for you. Like you need to market the school to them, if that makes sense. Now let's go to the second to the last paragraph. By carving my niche and building a brand in the hospitality industry, I would help to improve the image of my country to diverse, well traveled foreign expatriates. Okay, so the person said there are flaws in the hospitality industry. That was the person's core reason for wanting to study business. So it's not aligning that your concluding paragraph is about improving the image of your country, because if your reason earlier was okay, my image of my country is poor, I want to use the hospitality industry to improve the image of my country, and then you conclude with that, that flows. But if you are saying, oh, the industry had flaws, and then you're now concluding with I want to improve the image of my country, I don't think that line really aligns with like everything that we've been saying before now. More importantly, I'll be a medium for continuous job creation and economic development in my own country. Okay. As well as the dwindling political scene, less care is put on the vulnerable masses. Okay, now the person is going into unemployment, the person is going into poverty and political issues. That is very, you're already branching out too much and you're going away from personalization. With more businesses established, more job opportunities will be created. That's not a bad ending, but the line before that has too many things going on and it's not showing laser focus, if that makes sense. Because all of those issues are critical, but they're like a lot. I'll be delighted if my application for this rare opportunity is considered, as you'll be giving wings to a woman driven by a desire to make a change in her home country. Okay, definitely a good first attempt. Definitely a good draft. I would not say that this is bad. However, I think that a better way to approach this personal statement, key things that for me that are missing. Firstly, the first paragraph should have started with um maybe you talked a lot about having a business back home. What is that business? Maybe talking about your love for business and how you've been maybe building a business in the hospitality industry, or how that trip with your spouse made you start that business. But we need to know that you started a business or you've had business experiences. Or during your undergraduate degree, did you take on business courses that made you like business? Did you join a business club or a business society? What experience before now do you have with like businesses? Because you're not trying to apply for an MSc in the hospitality industry. You already have an MSc in that. What you're trying to apply for is a master's in business. So you want to let them know that you really genuinely love business. And so you want to talk about how before now you've maybe done different business endeavors. Maybe some have failed, some have succeeded. You also want to talk about maybe business modules you did in your undergraduate degree. Were you part of a business club? Or maybe when you started working, did you work for companies and maybe were like a business analyst, or you were freelancing on the side? like you want to give us examples of ways that you've dabbled into business or ways you've been exposed to business theories and things like that. They won't talk about your experiences with business. Then you now want to go into why you've chosen that university. Here, there's nothing about the course modules, there's nothing about the lecturers, there's nothing about the research institutions, innovation centers. There's just not enough. Let me even see if I can check for this course so that we can look at the school's websites together. Um, I think this is an MSc in Business with International Management. Let me check for the course so that we can look at it together. So MSc in Business with International Management. I'm trying to Google the course so that we can even see the course modules and see how we can even market the school to them. Because you for you to stand out, you need to not be generic. You need to show that you've done your research. This paragraph, um, this this paragraph is way too general. Is way too yeah, way too general. You need specific things about the university. So I'm trying to go to the school's website to see things that you could have said that could have been helpful. So let me share that tab instead. Can you guys see the tab of the masters in? Oh, hi Chidumaga. Thank you for supporting. Please drop insights. So we're definitely happy to hear feedback from you for sure. I hope everybody's paying attention and listening. You can also drop your own opinions and thoughts on what the person could have done better. But I'm on the school's website now. I hope you guys can see my screen. So let's look for things that the person could have said in about the school in their personal statements. So okay, that's the course overview. So these are like the modules overview. So these are some of the modules. The person could have talked about any of these modules, maybe strategy and marketing. What do you want to learn in that? Something about the consultancy project. Maybe you like that. The project is something that allows you to have real world experience with business creation and auditing and planning. Definitely. Just you don't have to mention all the modules, obviously, but you can give like specific name drop specific modules um that are interesting to you. So this is also globalization, innovation and sustainability, innovation and entrepreneurship. Just okay, this is about the use of digital technologies for entrepreneurship. So maybe the person's business idea is maybe an app for the hospitality industry. You can talk about how you want to learn about like the use of digital technologies to work on your business idea, and then you name drop this module, innovation and entrepreneurship. I want to learn from this module because it will do this, this, and that for me. So you just have to mention like 2 or 3 modules, and that's fine. And then I also like to go beyond modules. So maybe teaching staff, like who are the people that are teaching the course? What about them? What about them would you like? Um, okay, so this is very generic, Sha. They are not giving us details, but I'm also rushing, so I'm sure. Okay, so they talk about their facilities. Um, okay, see, this is a good thing. This is something that this applicants could have highlighted. You softwares that the school will give you access to. That's also something you could have highlighted as well as part of the reasons why you chose the university. But the point is like you have to go beyond general statements and go deeper into like specific things that you like about the school. That way they see that you've done your research and that way they see that you've done your research and that you're ready. So let's go back to the essay. Share this tab instead. Okay, so that's for this school. So we've talked about number one, your inspiration for wanting to study a business course, your experience with business, why the school is the best place for you, and then how do you end it? By talking about what you want to do specifically. You believe that by the time you're done with this course, you're going to be able to maybe establish a new business or scale your business, applying the lessons that you've learned by doing this and that, and then the impact of that, maybe through that business you can now create jobs and maybe revolutionize the industry. That way is more structured as opposed to just starting with, oh, you want to revolutionize the business space as well as the hospitality industry, because you already have an MSc in hospitality management. And I get why the person is talking about it, because obviously when you have one MSc and you want to do another one, it can be confusing. So it helps that the person talks about that passion, but you're applying for a business degree and they need to see that you are also business minded and you care about the business space and you have specific ideas for things that you want to do. So I hope that helps for this person's personal statement. Does anybody have any addition, feedback, or questions before I go to the next essay? Let me just guys, please let's talk. Oh, hey, let's give feedback because it will help me to feel like I'm not talking to myself, basically. Okay, let me open another essay. So this is actually a chevening essay. And I talk a lot about chevening on this channel. So I'm not even surprised that one of the first essays we'll be reviewing is a chevening essay. So I don't know if we can review all, but we'll see how far we can go. So this essay is for the Chevening Scholarship. I think we should actually even check the scholarships as we're comparing. Though I think that everybody knows about Chevening, but I don't want to generalize. So let's just go to Chevening's website and see what Chevening is looking for. That way we can be comparing the responses to. Okay, so this is the Chevening website. Fully funded scholarships to undertake any master's course at any UK university, enables outstanding emerging leaders from all over the world. There's no one typical scholar. What they want is passion, ideas, and influence to provide the solutions and leadership needed to create a better future. So, obviously, if you're trying to apply for a scholarship, you do way more research than that. But because I want to review the essay, I just want to give like a general overview of this. For those that are new to this channel, I did win this scholarship in 2020, and I've made a lot of videos about shipning. So safe to say that I know a lot about this scholarship. So I'm excited to review a shipning essay live for you guys, so you guys can see my process. Um, Eligibility. Actually, I'm not going to be marketing shipning. Let me just check. Okay, so these are the eligibility criteria, but let's just go to the essay because I'd rather do that. Okay, so this essay is leadership and influence, and the question really is about sharing your leadership and influencing skills. Because they're looking for leaders and influencers. And one mistake that I know that people make is they focus on just leadership or just influence. I want to see what this person did so that we can look at it together. So, to me, let's look at the first paragraph. To me, leadership is the ability to serve from organization to project implementation. I've always wanted to be a tool for change, and I believe the change you need starts with you. I began my leadership adventure in 2009 after graduating from high school when I volunteered to educate school children at a low cost school for 4 years. In response to the state's rising number of out of school children, I volunteered as an undergraduate in 2019 to join a non-profit organization, Streets to School Initiative, which focuses on quality education. I was entrusted with organizing a school bag exchange project. As the leader, I gave tasks to other members of the team. We were able to reach five low income schools, and approximately 100 bags were switched alongside donated school items. Okay, so honestly, I think that this first paragraph is actually fine. I always like to stay clear of leadership experience that is way too far, but I like that this person quickly like switched to something related, because one mistake that people always make is they talk about their high school experience, which is like too far. They want to know who you are right now as opposed to who you were before. But it helps that if you've had leadership experience before now, you can share it. But I like that this person, just gave us one line about it and then related it to what she's doing right now or he's doing, depending on who the person is. And I think that's very good. Um, However, the only issue I have with this is I always say the star approach, right? And the star approach is situation, task, action, and results. It feels like this started from just the task. So I was entrusted with organizing a school bag exchange project. As leader, I gave tasks to other members of the team. That's action. We were able to reach five low income schools, and approximately 100 bags were switched alongside donated school items. That's result. But the situation is actually missing. And for me, the situation is actually missing. And for me, what sets you apart from other people is the stories that you tell. So, why was this school bag exchange project important? What was the issue? What was the problem that this was going to solve? Did you guys do a research or a study, or did you guys find out that okay, a lot of children in low income schools don't have school bags and it's affecting their learning, it's affecting their education? Like, why is this action important in the grand scheme of things? Why is this action impactful? You've listed the things that you've done, but it's hard for me to feel emotionally connected to it because you've not told us what problem this is solving in a way that is moving for us. So I don't know if the person is here, but okay, I don't know if the person will want us to know that that's the person's essay. So let me not put you on spot. But beyond entrust, beyond okay, what you did, okay, I told them to do this and that. We're able to reach five low income schools. 100 bags were switched alongside donated school items. It's not written in a way that is moving, and it's also not very clear. I don't know if it's just me, but in response to the state's rising number of out of school students, I volunteered as an undergraduate in 2019 to join a non-profit organization which focuses on quality education. Then you are going to organize a school bag exchange project. It's not, the story is not aligning in a way that is moving, and I'm trying to make sense of it so that I can see ways that we can better put this forward. What is the connection with the rising number of out of school students and the school bag exchange project? How does that solve that problem? Because it looks like the project is solving a totally different problem. So, yeah, we need to find a way to make that have a situation, because right now it's mostly task, action, and results. I also like to add something to the star approach, which is called reflection. So, after 100 bags were switched alongside donated school items, follow up. What did that now do? What was the improvement in the problem you highlighted before? So maybe after I donated the bags, were there more children in school? Were they like, what was the effect of this thing that you did on their lives? If that makes sense. Let's go to the next paragraph. In the year 2019, I became a member of the Peace of My Heart Foundation, a non-profit organization devoted to eradicating the culture of silence. Okay. In order to lend my voice and educate the public, I coordinated. This is supposed to be a comma because it seems like it's so this is supposed to be like a full stop. and then you're supposed to start a new sentence here, actually. In order to lend my voice and educate the public, I coordinated the foundation's events and produced the meeting agenda as assistant program coordinator. Okay. So my problem is this person actually has leadership examples, but you're leading too much with the task and actions as opposed to the problems and the stories. But let me read this to the end and see ways that we actually can better structure this together. Oh, thank you for your feedback, Timeless. I like that. That's actually very key. Like the personalization, I think, is the problem here. So, in the year 2019, I became a member of the Peace of My Heart Foundation, a non-profit organization devoted to eradicating the culture of silence. I would have preferred you started with the issue of the culture of silence, like paint a picture about that issue, and then now say, because of this issue, you decided to join Peace of My Heart Foundation so that you can lend your voice and educate the public. You're starting with what you did before the story or the reasons before what you did. And the reason why the star approach is important is it helps you to not look like you're listing things, but more like you're telling a story. So a better way would have been what about the culture of silence? What about, like, give us, do you have a personal experience with it? Do you, or maybe statistics about it, but like give us a background about the culture of silence before you now say that to lend my voice, educate the public on this, I decided to join Peace of My Heart Foundation, and then this is what I now did. I hope that's clear. So I coordinated the foundation's events and produced the meeting agenda as assistant program coordinator. Hmm. What was the foundation event about? I coordinated the foundation's event and produced the meeting agenda as assistant program coordinator. What was the foundation's event about? Was it an event on this issue? Like, that's very, it's not clear what you're like, why that is related to the issue that we're talking about. I coordinated an event that was organized to do what and what. What was the purpose of the event? And the year 2020, due to the global pandemic, we focused on project ideation, which I came up with Handcraft Fiesta, where different soft skills will be taught and facilitated by experienced trainers. The project was implemented in 2021 and we impacted over 50 students between the ages of 10 to 16, with the training lasting 5 days. Okay, my darling, what I can see with this essay is you have done a lot, but it seems like you are mashing them up together. Because right now, the first line in this paragraph, and one thing I'll say is for your scholarship essays, each paragraph needs to focus on a specific experience, a specific idea, or a specific thing, or a specific activity using the star approach. You cannot use too many examples in one paragraph. It just makes it hard to follow, because this paragraph started with, I became a member of the Peace of My Heart Foundation, dedicated to eradicating the culture of silence. In order to lend my voice, I coordinated the foundation's event and produced the meeting agenda as assistant program coordinator. Except that's the end of that. And the person now started another example. But you've not even done justice to this example. It's better to have just three examples in your essay than to have too many examples that we don't care about. Because right now it just feels like you're listing things. And I know that these things seem important. It seems like you did things. But the way it's written, it's hard for us to care about the things that you did. So let's go back to um in the year 2019, I became a member of the Peace of My Heart Foundation, devoted to end eradicating the culture of silence. In order to lend my voice and educate the public, I coordinated the foundation's event and produced the meeting agenda as assistant program coordinator. We need to use the STAR approach for this. You start with the culture of silence. In 2019, the culture of silence, I don't know what you're even trying to say here. Is it about like, I'm not even sure what you mean by the culture of silence. And that's another thing. Like the people that are reading your essays don't really know what you're talking about, and they might be new to it. And it's your own, it's on you to educate them on what you're talking about. So I'm not sure what you mean by culture of silence, because many things come to my mind right now. There's silence in abuse, there's silence in crimes, there's silence in people like not minding their business when like negative things are happening. I'm not really sure, you know, what you mean. So let's just say the culture of silence is maybe silencing victims of abuse. Let me just say that's what I think it is. So you want to give a backstory. Maybe you witnessed, maybe you know someone that was silenced. Maybe you were silenced. Maybe you want to give us the statistics about, the rate of, silencing victims. And then you say, because of this issue, because of this personal experience, so that's your situation. That's why you want to start the paragraph. I became a member of, or I joined, it needs to be even more of an active word. I joined the Peace of My Art Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to this. While as a member, I coordinated, I don't know, I led the organization of the foundation's event, which was focused on maybe sharing information on or educating the public on the rate of silence, something, something, something. I produced the meeting agenda as assistant program coordinator. This event reached out to how many people? How many people attended the event? Is it 500 people? 100 people? Maybe the event was even live streamed. This event was live streamed to 1,000 people. As a result, more people were aware of so and so issue. And when I followed up, I found out that some people were able to, maybe some people that attended that event, maybe reported cases. Like, what practical results came as a result of you saying that there was a culture of silence? You joined this organization, you organized an event. What were the practical results? Because these three lines does not effectively convey your leadership example. It's just telling us, oh, I coordinated, but you're not making us care enough about it. So I hope that is clear. And then this is another example. Looks like this is another example from what I can see, except I'm wrong, but from a reader's perspective, it feels like this is another example. And in the year 2020, due to the global pandemic, we focused on project ideation, which I came up with handcraft fiesta. I'm not sure that's also grammatically correct. I think that you rushed. Maybe this is a first draft or something, but it's not grammatically flowing. And in the year, mm, I don't know, it's not flowing well. So in the year 2020 self, it's too many words, because I know this essay has 500 word limit. You don't want to be using an in the year, like just say in 2020. And I will even advise that this is a different paragraph. Like, let's say you expanded that paragraph based on the feedback I gave. This should be another paragraph. In 2020, due to the global pandemic, we focus on project ideation. Okay, so are you saying that this Piece of My Heart Foundation, because of the pandemic, you guys were not able to do stuff, and so you had to focus on project ideation, which is fine, which I came up with. This is what we had to focus on. We focus on project addition. So this in 2020, due to the global pandemic, we focus on project ideation. Stop there. Now it seems like this is an action. Let me read the action. But you cannot just go straight into the action. You want to give us the reasons why you came up with this. I came up with handcraft fiesta, where different the way you've even written this, it seems like this is an initiative. So you want to write it in caps so that we know that this is a noun and you're specifically referring to something. So is this an event, or Was it a workshop? I'm not sure. Or was it a training program? But you need to be more specific about what you mean. Okay. Timeless says, I think mastering storytelling crafts and skills is what's really working against us. I think that's it. Because I know many people that are very skilled and have done so many amazing things. But because they cannot tell their story in a way that the person reading it cares, they just get rejected. So this person clearly has done a lot, but the way the story is narrated is not in a way that I would care. And I think what you want to do is to make them care. I think that's the key thing. So let's go back to the essay. Um, so I came up with Ancraft Fiesta, an event. I don't know if it's an event or let me even say a program because I don't know. A virtual program because I don't know what this was. But I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. A virtual program where different soft skills will be taught and facilitated by experienced trainers. The project, uh, so this is to you need to not join too many things. I think that your sentences too are also too long, and you need to be breaking your sentences. One great app that you can use, Quiltbolt or Grammarly. Please don't use ChatGPT because it just ends up makes your essay read like AI. But I think Grammarly and Quiltbolt will help with editing or having like a friend that is like that can because when you write something yourself, having an extra eye to look at it tends to help. But I think that you're joining too many sentences together. In terms of due to the global pandemic, we focus on project ideation. You won't tell us why you came up with this thing. So I realized that many people maybe were idle, maybe or many people in a certain community were struggling with financial we're struggling with maybe money, we're struggling with being able to provide for their bills, for their family. I don't know. But why was this program important? Or maybe is it for women? Maybe a lot of women that are out of jobs. Like you need to tell us why this program was important. Who was the program helpful? So okay, this was for students. Okay, I've seen that. So many students were out of school and they were maybe wasting away time, losing out on important learning opportunities that could have helped them to advance. I don't know, like what were the why was this important for the students? Maybe because of the pandemic, people were out of school, they were idle, and maybe those students needed a way to finance their education. So I don't know if these are public school students. I don't know if these are students that have certain challenges, but you want to make this. So the key is it's not really about what you did. It's about the importance of what you did. Like somebody can talk about the same thing and it will sound like the person changed the world. So who were these students? Were these vulnerable students? Were these students that maybe couldn't even afford their school fees? Were they in a community that don't even have access to all of these things? Like you want to paint a picture that makes us feel like, oh wow, this was so urgent, this is so important. So we focus on project ideation. Due to this and that, I realized that many students in this particular place, because where were these students, what community were they, what state, what country, what school, I don't know. Students in something 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 were struggling with this and that, and I came up with the idea to do. So the situation is, what was the problem, why was this training program needed? The task is, I came up with handcraft fiesta, which would something something something. The action is, I implemented it in 2021. Then the result, or not even I implemented, I led the implementation. Did you have other people assisting you? Did you lead other team members? I led this, and then the project impacted over 50 students between the age of 16 and 10 to 16. What was the effect in their lives moving forward? These students are now financially sustainable. Some of them have started up businesses. Some of them are able to afford their their fees. I don't know the story, but you need to fleshing up your examples well because the way it's written, is not going to be convincing enough, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm trying to end the poll. Okay, so we literally have 14 minutes left, but I'd like us to at least finish this leadership essay today because this is going to be a weekly thing. So for everyone that is here, you can join next week Sunday at 5 p.m. It's going to be every week. If you know anybody that will benefit from this, they can also join. We'll be doing a sort of, I'll do like a trivia at the end of this, so that we'll be able to randomly pick whose essay is going to be reviewed next week. So I'll ask a question and it's going to be fastest fingers first, so that that person can send their essay to my email and then we can review it next week. And also if you join and there's time, we can also review your essay next week. But if you want a chance for yours to be reviewed next week, just chill for the trivia at the end. So the next paragraph here is, according to online media and the UNICEF, the number of out of school pupils surged after the pandemic in 2020 2021. This is a good way to start this paragraph. While I and another team member scouted for high schools, we enrolled the primary school students in the NGO's free school. Hmm. it's not very clear what you mean, and I don't know if it's just me. Exactly in this place, it's not very clear. And I think clarity is very key. Like clarity is very key, guys. But this is not very clear. By engaging the principal, I was able to arrange collaboration with one of the schools. I worked with the team on our adolescent hangout session, and I was in charge of event coordination and registration. I volunteered as a photographer for our organization's teacher training program, which was aimed to educate teachers about modern classroom technologies. Okay, so the first line you're talking about number of out of school pupils, right? So that's the background you're selling for us. So whatever action you want to talk about needs to be related to putting students back in school or to meaningfully engage those students, right? So the focus is on students. But then you're talking about an adolescent hangout session and a teacher training program. That doesn't really directly align with the first line of what you shared. You're talking about like multiple things right now. You said number of out of school pupils surged. Fine. So you're trying to paint a picture for us. You scouted for high schools, you enrolled the primary students in the NGO's free school. What primary students? Who were these students? Where did you find them? How do you know them? It's too, you're not like expanding. Did you identify a specific school? Were they students in a particular community that you helped to go to a free school? Like, it's not very clear what you're saying there. Then you say by engaging with the principal, I was able to arrange collaboration with one of the schools. Which one of the schools? Was it one of the schools that you were trying to get students back into? Like this is not very clear what you mean, my dear. And if I am struggling to process what you mean, it means that whoever was going to read this essay or whoever read the essay would have struggled. I work with the team on an adolescent hangout session. I'm not sure why that session is important to everything that we have been saying before now. And was this session supposed to make them go back to school? Was it a sense? Was it something to mobilize them or to like mentally charge them or to support them? Like, what was the session about? Like, what was the benefit of that hangout session? Um, that's very key. And then now you talk about volunteering as a photographer for our organization teacher training program, which aim to educate teachers about modern classroom technologies. You've not talked about the issues with teachers and classroom technologies before now. This seems to be another thing entirely. Why was this volunteering? Why is this important? Like, you volunteered as a photographer for organization's teacher training program, which aim to educate teachers about modern classroom technologies. That's fine. It's good to volunteer. But what was the importance of this line? What was the importance of your of your actions? Like, okay, you took pictures. You don't have to put every volunteering experience. You don't have to put every leadership experience. Any example you're giving needs to focus on, I saw a problem. This is how I solved it. This was the result. This is the long-term benefit of that action. If that example, if that experience, if that idea does not align with, I saw a problem, this is what I needed to do, this is what I did, this was the result, if it doesn't flow with that, I don't think you should put it. Because I'm trying to see the benefits of volunteering as a photographer for our organization teacher training program. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. So I would advise, if I was going to edit this essay, I would have said you should just cross it out personally. Except there's a different way that you can explain it. It seems like my laptop is quite low. But I think we'll be fine. Let me just 1 second, guys. Let me just plug it. Okay, so are we following, guys? Are we following? But yeah, so personally, I would say that that's not, yeah, except there's a different way that we can promote that. Yeah, so, or maybe you, if you're trying to apply for a master's in photography or something, but you'd have been giving us more media examples, but I feel like that is not like related. The final paragraph, I work with the team on the general certificate examination form sponsorship project, where I screened and phone interviewed applicants from throughout the country. I think you need to use like editing apps, or to pay attention, like after you write your draft, I think you need to like read through and edit, because I'm seeing some like minor grammatical errors, so it almost feels like it's a first draft, if maybe it's a first draft actually. So I work with the team on the general certificate examination form sponsorship project, where I screened and phone interviewed applicants throughout the country, and I distributed pins to 57 successful applicants. Can you see the, it's a consistent issue throughout this essay, listing things that you've done but not making us care about the things. Like, that's why the star approach is needed, because we need to, you need to set the stage for whatever action that you took. Saying, oh, I work with the team on the general certificate examination form sponsorship project, where I screened and phone interviewed applicants throughout the country and distributed pins to 57 successful applicants. I'm not sure why that is impactful, how that has made you a leader, how that has changed lives. You need to expand it, or you need to remove it. I don't even think you need more than 3 examples in your Shivni leadership essay. Like, personally, because if you want to give an intro, you want to give an outro, and you want to use the star approach, I don't think you need more than 3, 4 max. 4 is even a lot. I think mine, I use 3, and I know people that have used 2, but obviously I always say that 3 is a sweet spot. So 3 or 4 max. There are too many examples here, and you're not expanding the examples enough. The final part of your essay, during the 2022 Women's Day, I spoke to a classroom of pupils and planned and coordinated the event. Winning a children's scholarship will allow me to learn from and network with other global leaders in the non-profit and other sectors, as well as to contribute to the education sector in my native country. So, to be fair, one thing that I know that you've clearly stated is you care about the non-profit space. So if your master's is related to that, I think that you've given us that background. That's one very good thing about this essay. Like, we know that your passion lies in education and non-profits. I'm even curious to see the course that this person wanted to study. Um I feel like I need to review this essay next week because I'm not seeing any course choices in your study UK. Okay, let's just go back. But if it's non-profit that you want to study, then that's a good this is a good essay. It's just that you give too many examples. That's one. Your examples do not follow the star approach, and you do not put specific examples in specific paragraphs. This Women Day event, you did not make us care about this as well. What did you speak to the pupils about? What was the event about? How many pupils? After the event, do you have any success story of any pupil from that event? Like, you need to make the things that you're talking about feel very grand. Okay? But this is a good draft. I'll come back to the live stream now. Okay, so yeah, that is for the that's for this week. I think we have about 4 minutes left. So I don't know who wants their essay to be reviewed next week. I think those that are even still here to this time are the people that want to review their essay because we've been here for quite a while. So if you like your essay to be reviewed next week, and you are okay, timeless. So just send an email to afmstories at gmail.com, and then put your what they call it, your YouTube ID. So I can see Timeless and I can see Trust Joseph. So the two of you should send your essay, personal statements to AFM stories at gmail.com. Yeah, so that's all for this week. Do you guys have any feedback? Any questions, anything, any suggestions on how we can improve this? Because it's literally just a test run. But yeah, I like to hear from you guys. But Timeless and Trust Joseph, definitely send your emails. Send your emails. But it's better you send it today so that I can. But yeah. All right, guys. Excited. Today was nice. Today was amazing. It was lovely talking to everyone. And I'll see you next week. Bye.